Now, I'm sure I'm going to get lots of strange looks, of course, when I get into the sighting, probably thinking, what's going on with this strange blonde girl? What is she doing? But that's okay, I don't mind so much. Sorry, I just stopped to listen to the radio very quickly. Right, let's have a look. Seems like one of the lionesses is coming down. Just going to reposition slightly. Copy, thanks. It's no matata. I can take a long range. I've got a big zoom on my camera. So there's quite a few vehicles here. I don't want to overcrowd this sighting. So I'm rather going to give these lions some room. And what I'm going to do is I actually want to reposition again. I want to go up further ahead. I know this is an amazing view here, but I'm going to try a different view. Let's just very quickly just move. Sorry, everybody. I know it's being a little bit... Just need to do this. I just feel like if we park here, we may sort of be circling and squashing everybody in. So we'd rather give a big open space on the one side, that if this buffalo does for some reason be able to run and get away from these lions, that they're able to have much more room to do so. We'll just stop around here. This is incredible. These lions are unbelievable. Sorry, please bear with me for just a moment. We're almost there. Here we go. Now we're going to have another view, a proper view. Wowee. Now, this is quite amazing. We're obviously seeing the little cubs get involved now, which is actually quite unusual. Normally they only start joining in on hunts a little bit older, but perhaps because they've been in the area, they weren't too far from here, and these lionesses made the opportunity and were able to snatch up a little buffalo calf, a little unsuspecting calf. This is perfect practice for them. They're able to now really practice all those moves that we're seeing. Biting of the nose, biting the jugular. Now, Safari, you've asked a fantastic question. You're wondering if the lionesses are doing this to try and show the lion cubs how to make a kill. Normally, we don't really see that with lions. We typically see it with cheetah, and I've seen it once with a leopard before. But because it's such a small buffalo, I wonder if that's not perhaps the case. I mean, this is new to me. I've never seen sort of this before, where the females, as it sort of gets up, they just pull it back down to the ground and let the little one. See that one jumping on its head? Now, I don't think that these little cubs will be able to suffocate this buffalo. Unfortunately, their jaws just aren't big and powerful enough just yet, so the females are going to have to end up putting it out of its misery, and hopefully they do so quite quickly. But you can see the cubs have sort of lost a bit of interest, or a couple of them now. They're more interested in playing with a lioness's legs. So you can see they don't know what to do with this little buffalo. I'm just shifting around. This is incredible. I might even take 1 or 2 pictures. They just continue to blow my mind, these Nkuhumas. Now, and including the one that they killed earlier today, it was a juvenile buffalo. I know that our beard was wondering, are the lionesses intentionally choosing these young ones so the cubs can learn? The other juvenile that they killed earlier today, the cubs weren't present, the adults did it, and then I presume that they went to fetch them a little bit later in the day. So I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just sort of opportunistic. Is that maybe there was a mom and calf walking through this area, coming down to wallow in that nice water where we often see Henry, or even down at the pan to have a drink, and these lions were sitting down close by, and because they would have had a bite to eat earlier today, they would have needed to have come and had a drink. Of course, the water helps aid in digestion, and well, it's extremely hot, so it would benefit them to come and have a drink and try and cool down. And I think that's what happened. I think this is sort of just happened. Maybe in the last maybe in the last 40 minutes or so. Maybe in the last hour. I'm very uncertain. The last time I heard, I had to turn the radio off, of course, is that they weren't doing very much. But it just shows you how quickly things can happen out here in the bush. Even when you see sleeping lions, they can jump up and turn into expert hunters in just a matter of minutes, even seconds. But you can see that one on the top of the buffalo now, trying to practice, of course, that very important position of, or whoever it ends up being, of the one lion that will jump onto the buffalo's back and try and bite the spinal column. And remember, they do that really, especially with the bigger buffalo, just to try and increase the blood flow. Because when you start to lose blood, you become weaker and you can go into shock. And ideally, that's what they want to do. They want to weaken their prey as quick as possible, especially when it's something so large, unlike an impala, which they'd be able to sort of kill in a matter of minutes. But something like a buffalo, even a buffalo calf, could take some time. You can see it's putting up a serious fight. And it's as if that lioness is just sort of there watching, just making sure things don't get out of hand, that buffalo doesn't get up and run again. Oh, careful, little cub. Now, this is actually very important. Like I said, I don't think this happens very often. I've never seen it before. Those cubs are going to have to be careful of those buffalo's hooves, because even though this buffalo is quite small, if it gets out a big kick like we just saw and it connects in the face, well, those little cubs could sustain some injury from it. So they better be very, very careful and learn quickly. This is just absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to sit quietly because we can still hear this buffalo distressing slightly. Now, Betty, you're wondering, looking at this buffalo, if it's got some kind of an intestinal issue, as its belly is quite swollen. It does look rather large, doesn't it? Now, I'm actually not certain why it's so bloated. Perhaps maybe it got left behind from the herd. Maybe it got separated. Possibly there weren't even any adult buffalo around. And instinct told it to come down to the water. Obviously, it's nice and cool. So I'm a little bit, I'm not sure. I don't think that could have been caused by now. I mean, that's a severely bloated belly. Kicking up quite a bit of dust. This is outstanding. Trying to work out how many lions are here. 1, 2, 3, 4 lionesses, and I can see 1 male. And I think that all the cubs